Welcome to this explainer. Look, if you've ever felt completely overwhelmed by the constant, exhausting fluctuations of your own mind, you are absolutely in the right place. Today we're jumping right into a really fascinating journey to demystify those daily mental struggles. We're going to explore this incredible intersection where ancient Vedantic wisdom meets the cutting edge of modern quantum science. Because ultimately we're looking for a guide to the art of living peacefully. We want to answer a fundamental question. Who are we, really? And how can understanding our true nature give us the clarity to actually excel in a life full of doubts and struggles?
Okay, let's dive into this. Are your moments of peace actually holding you back? I know, it sounds totally counterintuitive, doesn't it? I mean, we spend so much of our modern lives chasing a peaceful mind. We meditate, we take vacations, we just try to find a single moment of Zen. We naturally assume that a peaceful mind is the ultimate goal. But what if getting addicted to feeling peaceful is actually a trap? A beautiful trap, sure, but a trap nonetheless. Keep that idea in the back of your mind as we move forward.
So here is our roadmap for today. We'll start with the quest for clarity, define the eternal soul, and explore the three binding gunas. Then, we'll tackle the core distinction, Sattva versus the soul, back it up with science and consciousness, and finally, bring it all together with the art of living.
All right, Section 1, the quest for clarity and navigating our daily struggles.
Because let's be honest, navigating our daily struggles in this fast-paced world is just exhausting. One minute you're buzzing with all this anxious energy, and the next you just want to crash and binge-watch TV. To really understand these wild fluctuations, we're leaning on two incredibly profound philosophical texts, the Bhagavad Gita and the Upanishads, and they are perfectly complementary. The Upanishads are deeply philosophical. They're constantly asking, what is the ultimate reality, and focusing on realizing pure consciousness. But the Bhagavad Gita, that takes that profound philosophy and turns it into a practical field manual. It asks, how should I live? And teaches us how to fulfill our modern duties without losing our minds.
Moving on to Section 2, defining the eternal soul, uncovering the Atma. So, the crucial point is, before we can even begin to fix the mind, we have to draw a hard, firm line between our temporary physical body and our eternal self. The Atma, which is also known as the individual soul, or the jiva, is the spirit. It's unborn, indestructible, and everlasting. Think about it for a second. Your childhood body is completely different from your adult body, right? And your opinions? They've probably changed 1,000 times over the years. Yet, the you looking out through your eyes, that silent observer, has literally never changed. The physical body is merely a temporary garment that the Atma wears. There is this thought from the Upanishads that captures it just perfectly. Through the many months, years, ages, and world cycles, past and future, consciousness is the same. It neither rises nor sets. It's so powerful. The soul isn't just a mood. It's not a passing thought. It is the ultimate, self-revealing consciousness. It's like the blank, unchanging screen upon which the crazy movie of your life is playing out.
Which brings us to Section 3, the three binding gunas, Mother Nature's gears.
Now, you might be wondering, if we are this perfect, unchanging consciousness, why does life feel like such a roller coaster? Well, enter Prakrti, Mother Nature. To get her work done through us, she essentially uses three gears, known as the gunas. First, we have Sattva, that's your peace, goodness, and clarity. Then there's Rajas, passion, action, and restlessness. And finally, Tamas, ignorance and laziness. Imagine these three constantly fighting for dominance inside you. When Rajas overpowers, you're super stressed, working late, hustling. When Tamas wins, you're heavy, lethargic, hitting the snooze button. But when Sattva prevails, you feel this wonderful, clear focus.
And this brilliantly illustrates a metaphor from chapter 14 of the Gita that gives us an incredible framework to visualize all of this. Picture a balloon filled with helium. That balloon represents your soul, the Atma. Naturally, it just wants to rise up and fly freely into the pure, boundless sky of consciousness. But the balloon is tied down by a string. That string represents those three gunas we just talked about. Mother Nature uses these gears to literally tie the soul down to the physical body in the material world.
Let's get into Section 4, Sattva versus the soul. This is the core distinction.
And honestly, this is the exact distinction that most people miss entirely. Sattva is amazing. It really is. It's illuminating, pure, calm. It makes you want to study, be a kind person, and live a really good life. But, and this is a massive but, Sattva is still just a part of the mind. It is part of Mother Nature. The soul, on the other hand, is totally beyond the mind and the intellect. It is completely free and unattached. Sattva is a beautiful, peaceful state of mind, for sure. But remember our balloon metaphor. It's still just the string tying you down. The soul is the infinite sky itself.
Chapter 14, verse 6 of the Gita hits us with a fascinating warning about this. It says, Sattva, being immaculate, is illuminating and flawless. It binds through attachment to happiness and knowledge. This is the hidden danger of Sattva. You start meditating, you start feeling peaceful, and suddenly, you become deeply attached to that peace. Have you ever gotten furious just because someone interrupted your quiet time? A chain made of pure gold is still a chain, right? Identifying entirely with your mind's peace, rather than the soul that's beyond the mind, can actually hold back your ultimate spiritual freedom.
Now, what's really interesting about this is how the ancient texts describe sattva manifesting physically. The Gita says that when sattva is predominant, light and discernment literally dawn in the body's 9 gateways. A sattva-dominant person physically experiences the world differently. Their eyes naturally seek out goodness, their ears crave truth and learning, their mouth speaks kindly. The entire system just becomes bright and focused. It's an absolutely ideal state for operating and excelling in the modern world, as long as we don't forget that it's merely a temporary state.
Next up is Section 5, Science, Matter, and Consciousness, bridging the ancient and the modern.
Now, for the modern secular seeker, all of this might sound strictly philosophical. But here's where it gets wild. Modern physics is actually beginning to build models that trace quantifiable physical matter back to a foundational cosmic consciousness field. There's a recent paper in the International Journal of Indian Psychology that traced a formal theory of matter actually emerging from consciousness energy. This directly mirrors the ancient Vedic concept of Brahman, the idea that a formless, pure consciousness is the ultimate organizing principle from which all material reality, including our physical bodies, actually emerges.
So, this scientific paper is suggesting exactly what the Upanishads stated thousands of years ago. The jiva, the individual soul, acts as a literal bridge connecting 2 extremes. On one end, you have the material, particle world governed by Mother Nature's gears. On the other end, you have the cosmic consciousness, wave world. The big takeaway here is profound. Consciousness isn't just some biological byproduct of your brain firing neurons. Consciousness is independent of matter. It is the ultimate governing force behind all of reality. Finally, Section 6, The Art of Living, Finding True Peace and Excelling in Life. Let's move to and see how this builds a practical framework. Because how does this actually help you on a Tuesday morning when you're incredibly stressed about a deadline? Here's how you excel amidst the struggle. First, if you're stuck in tamas, that heavy laziness, you can't just jump straight to peace. You have to overpower it with rajas. Get up, take action, go for a run. Second, once you're active but feeling restless, balance that by cultivating sattva. Read, meditate, and calm your system down. Third, use that sattvic clarity to make really sharp, clear life choices. Fourth, and this is the Gita's real secret sauce, perform your daily duties with intense focus, but drop your attachment to the results. Nishkama karma. Do the work, but let go of the anxiety about the outcome. And finally, constantly remember that you are the eternal observer. You are not your stressed out mind. You are the awareness watching it.
Which leaves us with one final, absolutely vital question. Knowing what you know now about the mechanics of your own mind, will you settle for the temporary, fragile piece of sattva, that beautiful golden chain? Or will you use sattva merely as a tool to navigate this world, while ultimately striving to cut the string entirely, realizing the boundless, eternal freedom of the soul? The choice and the clarity is entirely yours. Thank you so much for joining me on this explainer. Keep learning, keep questioning, and I will catch you next time.